Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. Okay, so I believe this is the last of the, uncut sheets that are apparently found in the trash somewhere. I mean, even on this one, you see property of Wizards of the Coast and some numbers and stuff. And then, crumpled, uncut foily sheet. Oh, so fancy with the foils. Somebody's, I'm sure, out there about to make a joke about, the foils curling. And this definitely already curling too, right? Like our previous leaks that we've talked about, make sure you take this with a grain of salt because these are not confirmed yet. At least I have not found any information on these being confirmed. So if you found that information, please let us know in the comments below. But I believe this has not been confirmed. It's just apparently something someone found in the trash somewhere and is like, hey, you know what? Let's just share this out there. So yeah, take everything I say with a grain of salt. But yeah, regardless, let's jump into it. So, Aragorn and Arwen married. Like we saw recently with some of the March of Machines spoilers, they are starting to do more and more of these, combo creature, for legendary creature types, essentially. So, yeah, here we go. Apparently, Aragorn and Arwen get their own card together. They are married, a 3/6 human elf noble with vigilance. That costs 4 green, white, and has, whenever Aragorn and Arwen married enters the battlefield or attacks, put a counter on each other creature you control. You gain 1 life for each other creature you control. So quite a bit going on here, actually. I mean, 3/6 vigilance for 6 mana, not all that great, but again, because it is vigilance, we are kind of incentivized to attack essentially all the time, as long as we can attack, basically in a safe way, and there's plenty of ways to do that to make sure that our commander is fine. And yeah, when we do so, we are getting a fantastic trigger, which we also get on ETBs, which of course are plenty of ways to use and abuse ETBs in these colors. And yeah, getting a counter on all our other creatures can be huge, and a go-wide strategy. Let's get a lot of counters out there. And of course, the wider and wider we go, the more creatures we have in play, the more life that we are gaining. And yeah, in these colors, there are plenty of ways to take advantage of that life gain. There are plenty of ways to take advantage of those counters. So there's a lot of really cool synergies that we can work with this commander. So yeah, a lot of cool different directions that you can take it, and a lot of powerful things that you can do. Now, on this episode, like my other quick takes that I've done recently, hey, I'm going to be going through some budget buys, cards that are less than $1, cards are within my budget. But also, I'm going to be going through some pricier picks, cards that are outside of my budget, some of which are very much outside of my budget, and cards that work really well with this commander. Regardless, all those cards will be in a link in the description below. And even if you are excited and interested in this commander and want to build around it, well, you might want to wait. I'm just going to urge you, please, just wait, unless your playgroup is okay, with, just making a proxy of it, essentially, and just playing with that, even if it's not a real card, because, again, this has not been officially confirmed to my knowledge, so, yeah, it could, just be a fake card on the internet, though it would take a lot of effort, to make these, uncut sheets, essentially, that we are seeing. That being said, I wouldn't put it past some people, but yeah, it is something that I would urge you to wait on. Now, with all that said, let's jump into it. First up, yeah, again, when I talked about, this commander attacking, of course, there are plenty of ways to protect this commander in combat, especially in these colors, and there's ways to take even more advantage of it, like a cloud shift, essentially. Hey, we're swinging with our 3/6 vigilant commander in combat at one of our opponents. Maybe they've got a pretty big army, and they're like, yeah, sure, I'll double block or whatnot to take your commander out. You're like, you know what? I really don't want my commander to get taken out. I got that attack trigger, which was great, but maybe I also want to get a little bit greedy. Maybe I want not only the attack trigger, but also an ETB trigger. So yeah, cloud shift. Hey, blink a creature, essentially. So yeah, blink your creature for just a single mana, blink your commander. Now it's protected in combat again. Someone tried to take it out. Too bad. It's not there anymore. Bring it back again and get that ETB, so you're getting twice as many counters essentially with that interaction of attacking and blinking and bringing it back and gaining even more life. And of course, a combat trick like this can be great because you're also pumping your other creatures by getting more and more counters on them, and your opponents might not have expected that, and they might have done their math wrong, which is great. Slagworm Armor, speaking of math, creature gets +0/+6. Very simple math here. Our commander is then a 3/12 12 toughness is going to be pretty hard to take out. So yeah, even though you're not really making your commander any deadlier, that's fine. Again, we can really take advantage of those attack triggers with something like this, though. Well, Lost Dream, speaking of taking advantage of an attack trigger and also the ETB trigger, whenever you gain life, you may pay X Rexes less than or equal to the amount of life you gained. If you do, draw X cards. Basically, this is like, hey, yeah, okay, either blink your commander or attack with your commander. How many creatures do you have? How many other creatures do you have? Great. Okay, do you want to pay a good amount of mana equal to, you know, those creatures and draw a ton of cards? Absolutely. And when it comes to gaining life and paying mana, a great investment can be with something like Trudge Garden. It says whenever you gain life, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 4/4 green fungus beast creature token with trample. So yes, you have to pay for this, but still, 2 mana for a 4/4 trample, that's not a bad rate at all. And of course, the more times that you are paying this, the more, you know, life you're going to be gaining and the more creatures you're going to be pumping with your commander every single time you get that trigger. There's also some free triggers for you, though, that you can very easily take advantage of, like, you know, Griffin Airy. Hey, at the beginning of your end step, did you gain 3 or more life? Cool. If you did, you get a 2/2 flyer. So, yeah, again, a 2/2 is not all that big to start off with, but also you're going to be able to get more and more counters on it throughout the game with your commander, and, of course, gain more life with the wider that you go, and, yeah, make these into some pretty deadly Griffins that you basically are just getting free throughout the game, which is just great. Angelic Accord, hey, at the beginning of each end step, not just your own, each end step, if you gain 4 more life this turn, you get a 4/4 angel creature with flying. And again, flying, a great form of evasion, one that can really help you out when it comes to getting those angels that start off as 4/4s, which are not tiny, and they're going to get a lot bigger. Yeah, you can take players out quite quickly with your wide army that can get quite tall with this commander. And of course, we can basically double up on this trigger with Valkyrie Harbinger, a 4/5 Angel Cleric with flying and lifelink that says at the beginning of each end step, if you gain 4 more life this turn, create a 4/4 white Angel Creature token with flying and vigilance. That sound familiar? Yeah, again, the more and more of these effects you have, the wider your army can get and the more powerful it can be. And also, yeah, just another way to gain even more life with something like this. Also, Nykthos Paragon. This can be absolutely massive in combination with this commander. A 4/6 that says whenever you gain life, you may put that many +1 counters on each creature you control. Do this only once each turn, so you only get 1 shot at it, which is okay. But again, let's say that we've got, I don't know, 8 creatures in play, you know, aside from our commander. Cool, we attack with our commander, we get that trigger. We're going to be getting 1 counter on every single one of our creatures except for our commander. We're going to be gaining 8 life. And then we say, you know what? Yeah, I'll utilize this. This is the time I'm going to, you know, go for it. I'll get 8 counters on all my other creatures. On all my creatures, they're all getting 8 counters just because of that massive life gain. Can also take advantage of the counters as well with Hamza, Guardian of Arashin. It's going to cost 1 less to cast for each creature we control a counter on it. So again, we can make this cost just 2 mana, this 5/5, which of course can become quite larger. And on top of that, creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature control they counter on it. That number, of course, can be quite large. And yeah, basically our creatures can be, well, near free. At least, you know, the generic cost can be gone from them. But now when it comes to the pricier picks, yeah, we've got a lot of great picks, including the brand new Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines, 4/7 Vigilant Phyrexian Praetor. This is a permanent entering the battlefield, causes a triggered ability, a permanent you control to trigger. The ability triggers additional time. So basically, Panharmonicon for all of our permanents, including our commander's ETB. Double that up, get double the effectiveness, yeah, double the counters, double the life gain, what's not to love. And on top of that, let's shut down our opponent's ETBs, because permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities a permanent your opponents control to trigger. Basically a massive Torpor Orb effect just for our opponents. Yeah, this can be quite brutal, quite effective, and yeah, there's other Panharmonicon effects to utilize like this. Doubling Season! Speaking of doubling things up, though, yeah, and there's other effects like Doubling Season as well that can be really helpful, but yeah, this one's great. If an effect would create 1 of our tokens under control, it creates twice as many of those tokens instead. Again, we talked about plenty of ways to make a lot of tokens. Now double that up. On top of that, if an effect would put 1 of our counters on a permanent you control, puts twice as many of those counters on that permanent instead. So yeah, with our commander's, you know, ETB or attack trigger, or sort of like Nykthos Paragon, or, you know, other ways to get counters on our creatures, plenty of ways to really take advantage of this. Speaking of taking advantage of it, Boon Reflection. We can also double up our life gain. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. So every single time we get our commander's ETB or attack trigger, or any other way to gain life, we are doubling that up and just gaining an absurd amount of life throughout the game. Of course, we're not done with doubling things up just yet, though, because Tyrannic Resonator, hey, pay 2, tap, copy target, triggered ability you control, choose 2 targets for the copy. Our commander has a triggered ability, again, on ETB or attack, so just paying 2 mana, we can double that up. Let the aforementioned Basically the exact same thing, but for the first part at least. Pay 2, tap, copy target activated or triggered ability control, choose new target. So yeah, we can double that up. This also can, copy instant sorceries, copy permanent spells, can do a lot of things. But again, for just 2 mana, we can double up on our commander's fantastic trigger. Now for just 1 mana, we can hit that trigger twice though with Ephemerate, basically a Cloud Shift that has rebound, exile a creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its own control. So we blink our commander, it goes away, it comes back. Again, a great way to protect it in combat if we need to, but just a great way to use and abuse its ETB and get that more and more often. And of course, again with rebound, basically, we exile it as it resolves. Beginning of our next upkeep, we cast it from exile for free. So again, for just 1 mana, we get 2 blinks, which absolutely can be huge. And of course, we also have access to, with this higher budget, cards like Conjurer's Closet and Teleportation Circle. Repeatable blink effects. At the beginning of your end step, you can exile target creature control, return that card to the battlefield under your control with Conjurer's Closet. Teleportation Circle, very similar, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Basically the exact same thing in this scenario. Hey, blink your commander at your end step for free. So just get that ETB again for free, doubling that up on every single turn, which is massive. And again, speaking of doubling, yeah, if we're utilizing this again with something like, again, doubling season or something like, Elish Norn or Panharmonicon, we can take even more advantage of those incredible triggers. Cathar's Crusade, speaking of a great trigger, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, get a counter on each creature you control. This can get absolutely ridiculous again if you are utilizing more and more ways to get your commander into play. You can really trigger this a lot. And of course, if you are utilizing those ways to make a lot of creature tokens, this can make your army even more massive. And yeah, getting more counters on your creatures can play really well into other cards that care about counters on your creatures, like Hamza. So yeah, a lot of great synergies to be had with a commander like this. Overall, a very interesting commander. Again, one that can go in a couple of different directions, one that can take a lot of different synergies and just bring them together in a fantastic way. Again, whether you're going with counters, whether you're going with life gain, whether you're going with go wide, or all of the different factors, this commander can have a massive impact and can bring a lot of exciting cards together. And although this, again, is incredibly exciting, again, I do warn you, although there is a link in the description below that I urge you to check out, maybe hold off on actually picking up any of these cards that work well with this commander, even if you're incredibly excited about this commander, because, again, at this point, it is just a leak. It has not been officially confirmed. At least I have not seen that. But yeah, when this is confirmed and you're excited about it, go for it. But yeah, at the end of the day, we might see even more of these leaks, apparently, because what in the world's going on over at Wizards? No one knows. And with that, today's episode is coming to a close. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.